Good afternoon. It's me, Larry, and I'm coming to you live from Stevie's room. Today's discussion is part two, feeding feral cats outside the home. And I want to start by saying that dynamics shift dramatically when you are no longer in your house and you're on the street. With that being said, you also need to really be up on the laws of your region, if it's even allowed to feed them outside the home, and what areas are off limits, and those types of things you should really be up on before you end up having your heart torn out. Cats on the street go through a lot of obstacles. They have cars. They have the people who scare them. They're a hater, but they're not harming them. They, get out of here, that kind of thing. So that makes it harder, by the way, for you to trap them, makes it harder for you to socialize them. The repeated scaring of the cat makes it a lot harder on the next guy to show up that actually wants to give it a home. They don't realize that, but they don't care. You have to assume that the person who hates them, and that is the biggest deal of this, is the hater and the killer, the person who is actually harming them, where cats go missing or come back ill with human-related injuries and or potential poisoning. Um, the bigger the place, the more likelihood there'll be haters, and the more likelihood that there's going to be a killer and a hater in every place. You cannot avoid that. You have to hope the animal outsmarts them, and there are ways that you can work with the animal to outsmart them. Don't leave bowls behind. Don't make the place into a shrine. I am not kidding you. I have gone to places where people feed cats where it looks like they made a shrine. I mean, they mean well, nice little porcelain bowls and a little bed. You want to do all that? Take the cat home. You're calling negative attention to the cat. Paper plates strewn all over the floor, covered in ants and cat food. The hater hates that. Because not only does it call attention to the cat, but it also is a mess that you've left behind. Don't leave a mess. If you're feeding on private property, know that you should really speak with the property owner or some outreach of that, like security. They, most of the time, you'd be surprised. They'll say, sure, you have a little area over there behind the dumpster and you want to feed them, as long as you clean up after yourself, no problem. You'd be surprised how many times they're okay with it. Occasionally you get that person who goes, no, and it might be that security guard, but not another one. Another one might say, sure, go ahead. So you have to learn your environment. Outside of private property, you're fine. At least where I live, so long as you don't leave a mess. I mean, don't leave a pile of food behind where the animal is, where the animal's gone and like some raccoon is eating it. Clean up after it. No bowls. I mean, let's say there's just no other way that you could put a bowl. It needs water, okay? Well, hide the bowl. Get something that doesn't even look like a bowl and make it into a bowl. The object is to be invisible. You want the hater to only see the cat. They have it rough enough than to see a mess and know where the feeder is feeding it. If you notice, I've filmed a few places, but I never gave a location. I never gave a name, and I don't want people to know, because I know that there's always going to be a hater and there's always going to be a killer. Now, how do you avoid the hater? Well, first off, don't go feeding cats in broad daylight or peak hours where people are cars, people, you know, I was very innocent at first. I used to think it was, you walk around at 6 o'clock at night, people are walking and talking, and oh, you're feeding a cat. No, some people are, but they actually waste your time. They're like, you get a lot of people that are very kind about it, but they're entertaining themselves and they're wasting your time, and it takes longer to do it that way. So, what's the best time? Well, when they're sleeping, 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. You gotta go to bed 8 o'clock at night. And believe it or not, I am not kidding you. You will find a hater at 4 o'clock in the morning eventually. It's unbelievable, but it does happen. And what do you say? That's the next thing is you've got two types of haters. We're not talking about the killer, we're talking about the hater. You've got the one that is silently raging. They look at you and give you hate looks. They already think you're crazy. If someone sees you feeding cats at 4 in the morning, they think you're crazy, but they don't want to find out. They don't want to confront you. And then there are the ones who all out confront you. They tend to confront older women more. And what I started doing when I got confronted the first time, I was lambasted. I mean, it's out of nowhere. Someone comes up to you and they're furious. You're just minding your own business, and now you got this furious person in front of you. They hate them that much, and they hate you that much, and they come at you like, like full blown Karen mode. I mean, they're just filming and ranting, and oh my God. So what do you do? And how did I get to the point where I know what to do? Well, I watched videos of people. Let me get cool out here. I watched videos of people being confronted, and I started thinking about a lot of things. And now I've got answers that are tailored and perfected. I'm going to tell you that 90% of the people who blow into Karen mode have no authority to confront you. They are neither the property owner nor law enforcement. Those are the only two people who really have or some security of that property owner. Those people have the right to say something to you. They might say, well, I work here. I'll get to that in a moment. They'll confront you. First words out of your mouth. First off, do not try to appeal to their sense of compassion. Do not justify, argue, defend, or explain what you are doing. Don't say, but we're trapping them, we're neutering them, we're getting them fixed, we're managing the pot. None of it. They're hungry, we're helping them, you're going to have less. None of it. Screw them. They're the enemy of the cat. They're the enemy of you. They want you gone. They want that cat gone. And the only thing standing between that cat starving and them making sure of it is you. Think about every single morning that you got there and that you rained on. It was cold. The animals, the cost of doing this, the time to prepare the food, the waking up even at 3 in the morning. Think about all those things and how this person has the audacity to just hurl demands at you when they have no authority. And then these words come out of your mouth, and it works. Who are you? Question them. Put it right back at them. And they might say, it's none of your business who I am. Oh, yes, it is my business. You made it my business by confronting me. So who are you? And they get taken back. They might say, well, I work here. Okay. Where in your handbook, employee handbook, does it designate you to be the cat police? Nowhere. So basically, you're harassing me. Stop it. I don't want to be harassed. Go away and let this go. Look, 10 minutes ago, you didn't know me and I didn't know you. Let's go back there. Let's keep it that way. Every single time they've backed off. They're so blown away by the fact that you went, because they're going right for your jugular. But instead of you cowering, most of the older cat women, they're like, "Oh, please, the cat's hungry," or "I'm here," or they run away. They're in fear. Stand toe to toe. They don't really have a. But well, the property owner told me the property owner's not here. I'm calling the police. Call the police, but don't harass me. I'm going to tell the police you're harassing me. That's what's going to happen when they get here. That I'm minding my own business and they don't go that far. It's just a momentary outburst by these Karens. When they realize they've hit a dead end and that you're not going to stop, they back down. But when you leave, learn who that person is. Most of these places, first off, if they live there, you already know where they live. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, it was really stupid of them. I mean, okay, granted, you're not waking up at 3 a.m. You're waking to fight with people. You're waking up to feed cats. That's really why you're there. But they really, luckily, you're a civilized person. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, and you just want them to go away. That is what I want. Go away. But I want to know who that person is. One time, like, you know how when a place has an employee listing, it says about us. I looked at all the jobs in that area. Sure enough, bam! I got the guy who took a picture of me and I got all in my face. Turns out I was friends with his boss. He was called into the office the next day. It's a small world, isn't it? Um, uh, really, they're really cowards in the end. They really are. One guy he actually stomped his foot on the ground next to where I was feeding, and I did the "Who are you?" and "You're not the cat police." He says good morning to me. Since then, like you almost have to stand in front of them like you're ready to die, to have them back off, and even in the end, if you see them frequently, they respect you. And I never got to the point where I actually got confronted a second time and that I had to call the person by their first name, because by then I've already learned who it is. Make it your business to learn who it is if you can, and you most likely can. It's amazing how exposed they are, and that you really don't want to go there. The best way to not go there is to not go there, and the best way to not go there is to be there at 3 a.m. when they're hopefully sleeping. And you say, but I can't function like this. I gotta go to bed at 8 o'clock. I have no life. Yeah, well, cat feeders have no life. Welcome to the world of, unless of course you wanna go and be confronted and have cats missing and find out that they're dead, and I mean, that's the alternative. You go when it's convenient, like in a normal schedule, and you're faced with hardships and hurt and pain. You know, you know. The best way to deal with this is to avoid them, avoid all of it, avoid the confrontations. Um, the killer. The killer is savvy, and I'm going to tell you they're out there. I've had cats just go missing. Friendly, sweet, loving cats will turn up dead without a mark on them. Um, you know, you can get them autopsied, I suppose, but I mean, like, you're not going to know who did it. But eventually, you might have some suspicions who's doing it. And the best way to deal with that is to, first off, if somehow let it be known that that there's people that don't like them and that cats are missing or injured that look like people related injuries. That's enough to let the killer know that your eyes are open and they will see you and they will not go there when you're there. um, they they're just as savvy as you are. So, and will you lose some of them? Yes, but at least you didn't leave a bowl and a plate and a this telling the killer, here's where the cat lives, here's where the cat eats, here's the cat itself. Now go ahead and do your thing. And if the person does it and there's cameras there, don't count on that facility to come to your aid, because they don't want to have the exposure. Basically, you're going to have to catch the person in the act and have a camera with you. And that I've never, well, I did with at home. I had pictures and X-rays, but it's almost like when it comes to enforcing this, um, it really takes a lot, um, too much. And the animal cruelty laws are on the books, so doesn't mean that you don't see a lot of people sitting in jail for animal cruelty. And that ought to tell you something, because there is no shortage of cruelty out there. And that is the hardest part about feeding on the outside. You meet a lot of really horrible people, and a handful of nice people, but the truth is you really don't want any people, because nobody's really going to help you. And or maybe there might be that one person that helps you trap it or do something, but generally speaking, there's more pushback than a tailwind behind you. So would I advise doing this? No, but I couldn't imagine my life without having done it. I have never cried more tears of joy and sorrow simultaneously. And every cat that made it from those types of places into my house was a life or death situation. And look at them. You see them in my shorts. They're beautiful. So, um, it's worth it. But man, it's work. I'm telling you in advance, and it will change your life. So before you dabble into this, know what you're dabbling into. And if you're already in it and you're nodding your head, yeah, I know. Hang in there. Be well, be safe. Thanks for listening.